AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in today. My name is Alana Shearer, your South Florida dancer, arts advocate, and today's host for Tell Us Your Biz. We have an exciting show planned ahead, including a very special guest, but I have to stop and note that our studio here at WWNN is looking very spectacular, I have to say. Freddie, Don, and the crew here at Boca's best radio station have been redecorating and organizing over here. And wow, am I impressed. I have to say, I spend a lot of time with my own social impact initiative of TAP, Turn Up Artistic Participation, and to walk into the studio and see the walls decorated with a variety of artists' work and decor and just art, it really brightens up the mood, and especially with this yucky weather we've been having, I feel like my mood's been dropping down, feeling a little gross, and to walk into some bright colors and a warm atmosphere, it really brightens up my day here. So if you're ever interested in checking us out, please don't hesitate to come swing by the Brooklyn Cafe TV station as well as WWNN here in Boca, because wow, you can come check out the art for yourself and even take some home if you are interested. But let's get back to business a little bit. Like I mentioned, today on Tell Us Your Biz, we have a new visitor here today, and I am honored to introduce an amazing new sponsor who you will definitely be seeing more of. Her name is Eileen Lemmelman. I'll have to make sure I say that right. I think of lemons when I say her last name. Eileen Lemmelman. Eileen. I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
And Eileen is
we have to make sure my name gets
absolutely
pronounced correctly.
Points off for my mistake. Eileen is a licensed clinical social worker and therapist in the Delray area, as well as the founder and creator for her brand It All Starts With You. So Eileen, it's not starting off to a good start. I'm so sorry,
That's
but
all right.
welcome. And how are you this evening? How are you doing?
I am wonderful. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Good to have you.
Thank you. Talk about being surrounded by sunshine and light. You are the epitome of that. So thank you for including me and wanting to interview me. I appreciate that.
It's our pleasure. So to jump into things, to give a little bit more of a background, from what I see, you have quite an extensive and diverse, say, postgraduate training. I see that you have been taking on the field of eating disorders and addictions, cognitive behavioral treatments for PTSD from Columbia University, traumatic incident response and psychoanalytical training from Florida Psychoanalytical Institute, that's a mouthful, working in practice, and the mental health field for years. I mean, quite the resume. You truly have an array of credentials. So besides being a queen of affirmations, mental health, and empowering women, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. So as you so eloquently described, and that's quite a mouthful. Thank you so much. I didn't even realize how much I've done in my life.
It is impressive.
But yes, I have, extensive background in a lot of training. Mainly, I've been focusing on trauma. And, as we know, all anxiety, depression, all addictions, it's all rooted in trauma. So I really worked a lot on trying to help people deal with their trauma. And, I have a very, very successful, thriving, bursting private practice. Listen, if I can't boast, who can, right?
Very true.
But I am very successful in what I do. But, I really had sort of like this epiphany and this transformation during this past year, as I think many of us have, in terms of transforming during this pandemic. We've all been locked down, locked out, locked in, and perhaps we've all wanted to make some changes in our life because of it. I know I have. Even though while I was working, I was connecting with patients, I was fairly lonely, you know, and we're so lonely in this society. And I was yearning and desiring and looking for a group. And I thought, who better to create a group than me? And so that's one of my sole purposes, is to create a platform for women, to support them, to encourage them, to empower them. But, you know, everything, it all starts with you. I work a lot on mindfulness practices. What is mindfulness? It's connecting to yourself purposefully, non-judgmentally in this moment. And once you can do that, then you can make change.
Wow.
And so, you know, that's where I'm at. And so it all led me to developing this new business called It All Starts With You.
How wonderful that is. And this is another transitioning point as well of even just your livelihood of what you're doing now with your life, and how incredible that is that you're taking everyone with you on that journey to help lift everybody up at the same time. Because I know many can attest to that loneliness within this past year. So what you work with and what you do, like you said, with trauma, that is a very hard-hitting and heavy-hitting subject. So besides just that heaviness, what do you find is your favorite positive aspect about what you do for people? What is the light? Why do you do what you do? How did you get so into what you do?
Well, you know, how I started many years ago is, of course, I wanted to help people. I'm a helper by nature. I'm a person who loves to listen, who loves to, I'm totally all about feelings. That's my whole MO. I'm all about feelings. But during this year, I realized that I wanted to find a way to serve more people at one time. I am only one person, and I can treat one person per hour, but I'd like to reach more people, and I'd like to serve more people at one time. And so I thought, what better way but then to, you know, begin to create this platform that I can serve a lot of people.
Absolutely. Well, I know that within this past year, yes, the pandemic absolutely affected mental health largely, but I've seen that trends and statistics have shown that even before 2020, before COVID was even a thing, mental health has been on the rise. It has been the buzzword you just keep hearing: mental health, mental health, mental health. So I want to say, what would be post-pandemic? What are the next steps we need to be taking towards healing and mental well-being in general? Of what's the next thing we do?
So, first of all, I want to say, yes, there has been some change. You know, a lot of performers and Hollywood people and, you know, musicians, they have in some way helped, you know, destigmatize or try to help destigmatize mental health and people reaching out for mental health help. Unfortunately, though, generally, the population, the society is still looking at mental health and reaching out for help as you know, a stigma, and that's really a shame. One of the things I'd like to do is create a place that women can come. I mean, yes, listen, all men and women are both, suffering with mental health issues and mental illness. I mean, when I say mental illness, I mean even people that have anxiety and depression, that is mental illness. And we need to treat that because what ends up happening is that, you end up being lonely and isolated and disconnected. And that's what happened during this pandemic. People that were struggling, even just minimally, with anxiety and depression, went into even more of a depressed state and more of an anxiety state. So, I really started thinking, how am I going to help more people? How am I going to help women, especially because that's what I'm focusing on, get the mental health help that they need. Insurance is not for everybody. Not everybody can afford insurance, and not everybody has access to mental health supports. So I'd like to be able to create something where women can come and I can help them get the help that they need.
Really serving a large as a platform and being that leader is exactly what we need so that we know who to look towards, who can guide us in that kind of a direction. And I have a question for everybody. I know that sometimes self-care looks different for everybody. I know for myself, if I'm taking a day and trying to take care of myself, that for me looks like stepping outside, moving and dancing helps me a lot. Sometimes, spending time with my pets. What are your personal self-care things that you do for yourself or that you've seen work for many people out there that you love to do?
So, first of all, I always encourage people, and I do this as well, to have bookends, the beginning of the day and the end of the day, with rituals. Rituals are going to create this foundation for the rest of your day. So I always start off my day with a little breath work, a little meditation. I go outside, I get some fresh air, I take a walk. Being outside and being in nature and being in sunshine increases dopamine. And dopamine is the feel-good hormone in our body. So we need to do that. We need to have, journaling in the morning. I call it my mind dump. I always mind dump. I just dump whatever it is that I'm, feeling, whatever I have to get out. I do that in the morning and sometimes at night. But at night, I always like to have my nighttime ritual include gratitude. So I always include a gratitude journal because, listen, connection to self leads to purpose. Purpose leads to gratitude, and gratitude leads to happiness.
Wow. Wow. How true that is. And, speaking about gratitude, actually, let me take a pause. I'll come right back to that question.
Okay.
For anyone who's listening, if you want to ask us any questions or call in or want to know anything, please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call us at WWNN. And the number is 888-565-1470. Now back to this topic of gratitude, because I have to ask. Positive affirmations. For anyone who may not be familiar, could you explain to me what are affirmations? And if someone was maybe struggling or looking to add something new into their day, maybe add in a bookend to their day and start with some positive affirmations. First of all, what is it and how would one start?
Well, affirmations are positive thoughts that we create, and when we have positive thoughts and we say things in a positive way, we're manifesting something very different into the universe. We're manifesting positivity, and we're saying, this is how I want my life to look, and this is how I want my life to feel. We can very easily get into the negativity, and when we're negative, we, really, it's a recipe for depression and anxiety. So, for example, the affirmation that I have chosen for this week, since I'm starting something really new, and I'm here with you, and I'm here on the radio station, my affirmation for this week is, I face this challenge with strength and know that I will accomplish all I desire. You notice I put it all in the positive, and I'm talking as if it already happened. That's manifesting positivity, and that's an affirmation.
Beautiful. I love that. And I think I need to do some self-reflection, and definitely going to be going home tonight thinking about what my bookends are going to be and possibly having some affirmations in my life. I know that sometimes sticky notes help with some people around the mirror as just a positive reflection, quite literally when you look in the mirror at yourself, to be reminded of those happy, good, positive notes as well. But I myself, I'm a 20...
And I just want to say that little tool that you just spoke about, sticky notes, is beautiful. Because let's do whatever we can. We don't need a formal journal. We can have sticky notes. We can put it on the mirror right as we're brushing our teeth. I am powerful. I am joyful. I choose happiness. I choose, power. I choose to be a powerful woman. Any of those things that we can think of like that, yes, put it on a sticky note and put it right as you're brushing your teeth, and say it to yourself over and over and over again.
Well, after all, it all starts with you.
That's right.
Everything always leads back to that, which is why I love the name. But
that's true. That's it.
I have to say, I'm 24 years old, and as someone who finds myself in a lot of technology today, we are very tech savvy. There's lots of social media. There is lots of influencers every which way you look. I have to say, sometimes young women like myself were caught up into this comparison trap, where you are just, as much as you try to focus on yourself, you just can't help sometimes when you're scrolling through the feed about being caught up in what everybody else is doing around you. And sometimes you just feel stuck. And so I was wanting to know, besides affirmations as a great tip, for young women out there who are feeling this way, what is the way that they can help themselves with maybe not, making these expectations in their head? How do they uplift themselves or get away from that comparison?
Well, first of all, I think you bring up a really, really very interesting and important point, because that's exactly what social media does. It's this comparison constantly to really something that isn't real. And the ideal of being this perfect, filtered, thin, made-up person who has everything and, is so happy all the time is not a realistic kind of picture of what probably that person's life is. So the first thing I want you to know, and I want everyone to know, is, first of all, you could put your phone down. You don't have to constantly look on social media and compare. But it's going to happen. I understand. I'm guilty of it too. I do it myself. It's very important to note and to be aware of what you're feeling. Not to push it away, not to say it's wrong or I'm stupid or what's wrong with me. No, be aware of it. Be aware of the thoughts and feelings that come up when you look on social media. That's mindfulness. That's being present with yourself. The more we can be present with ourselves, the happier we can be. Comparison is the robber of joy. So when we start comparing, we're going to notice, we're going to be aware, and we're not going to push it away, and we're going to be present with ourselves.
That's beautiful. Now I'm going to cut to a short break soon, but before I do, I have to say, it all starts with you. will be coming up with a podcast soon. I'm hopeful to hear. Yes.
Yes.
So if you are enjoying what you're hearing, if this is inspiring you, I know it is for me. I just can't wait to take all of this in and manifest this myself and bring this into my daily life. So please stay tuned, making sure that you are keeping up with Miss Eileen, because I will be signing up and subscribing to make sure I'm listening to your podcast when it comes up. We'll be back with more soon, but for now, we're going to take a short break.
A good old-fashioned local bar is hard to come by, but not anymore. The Artful Dodger is a fun, casual place to sit back and relax. Located at 495 Northeast 20th Street in Boca Raton, you'll find your new favorite bar. The Artful Dodger. We'll see you there.
You are listening to Tell Us Your Business, where our invited guests share all the knowledge of their business and how important it is what they do in our community. If you want to be part of the conversation, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and tell us what's on your mind. Now, back to Tell Us Your Business.
Hi, I'm Alana Shearer. Thank you for tuning back with us. We are with Eileen Lemmelman. And before we wrap up today's segment, I just want to ask Miss Eileen, besides your podcast, It All Starts With You, I hear you will be releasing something people may be interested in. I know I would be. Do you have anything you'd like to explain or tease out what could be in the works?
Absolutely. So one of the ideas that I came up with is that we are going to be putting together a contentment box. And this is, you spoke about self-care. This is the penultimate way that I can send you self-care in a box. And we are going to be, putting some magnificent, great products in that will help you feel good, maybe even look good. And so just keep watching out for it, because I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. It's going to
Wow.
be very helpful for you.
I can't wait to see all that you do. I'm very much looking forward to it. You will have to keep up with us, not only with Tell Us Your Biz, but with Brooklyn Cafe TV, because I have a feeling we are going to be seeing a lot of Miss Eileen. I hope so. Between her podcast, her contentment boxes, you are going to be seeing a lot of her for all good reasons. And if you're looking for some positive influence in your life, please stay tuned. You've been listening to WWNN Tell Us Your Biz. I'm Alana Shearer. Thank you so much for being on today. We appreciate you and all the work that you are doing for so many out there. We definitely need it during this time.
Thanks, Alana. You made
course.
me feel so warm and welcome. Thanks so much.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more Tell Us Your Biz.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv